Well, a very good evening, one and all. Welcome to the Studio Rats Q&A live number 243, and welcome to British summertime.
Oh, it's nice, isn't it?
It's still light out. It's been a really we're having a bit of a.
Don't say that. Don't say the H word.
I
Don't say
wasn't going to. I was going to say apparently we've had the driest March on record. So it's really nice out. It's been lovely. I've been playing out on the green with my kids. We were playing quick cricket this evening.
Nice.
Which was very lovely. But enough of this family frivolity. Tradition dictates, and whether it's a tradition or just something I made up, I have to ask the question. Mr. Drew, what have y'all been up to?
What did we do? We did you came over last week and we did the TC Ditto video.
We did.
We did what else did we do? Oh, we did some other stuff that isn't released yet.
Yeah.
About that. I was gonna say something really dull what I've been doing, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna stick to musical stuff.
So you're not gonna talk about skips or anything?
I was going to talk about skips. What do you know about that? Do you know what I did? Okay, I'm going to say it. Do you know what I did?
You panicked, didn't you? You panicked.
I've already told you, have I? I've already told you.
You've told me. Yeah, to tell the ladies and gentlemen. Well, the gentlemen, because
I filled up an 8-yard skip, like a big old skip. I don't know. Do Americans have skips? I'm sure they call it something different.
They call them dumpsters, I think.
Dumpsters, a massive, the size of this room. Putting rubble in it and stuff like that, and then it comes to be taken away, and I just have a look on the what you're not allowed to put in a skip, and it says plasterboard. And I put, oh shit, I just put like a ton of plasterboard in there. I had to dig out all the skip, take out the plasterboard.
You're very honest, because I've just made sure it's at the bottom.
No, because I know it's my luck that I'd get £1,000 fine, or it'll be returned back to me, and I'd have to do. No, it was just like I was on a panic attack. Anyway, that's rubbish. It's boring. Let's move on. What about yourself?
It's quite literally rubbish. Weekend off this weekend, which was really nice.
Nice.
So did family things, which was nice. I need to go back to cheerleading again this weekend. Been busy with big band videos. Put one out yesterday. About the actual recording process, and there's one coming out on Friday about the mix. It's quite a long video. Nice. Fridays, and it's good to know that my camera is still completely doing whatever it wants to do. Very, very strange thing.
Is it original music, or is it?
No, it's original arrangements. If that makes sense.
So you're going to get stung for on YouTube?
The first one, because it's a genuine arrangement, it's split the royalties, and on this one, because it's a fully original arrangement, it's fine. There's no contest.
Nice, excellent, good news.
But I mean, it's more about the techniques than it is about actually making any money from this stuff at this stage. Because unless I hit 10,000, 15,000, 30,000, I'm not making any money out of it anyway. So, but. No, it's been an interesting process. It's been quite a long process because obviously there's 2 hours worth of music to wade my way through. But it's good, and I think it sounds really good, and hopefully that comes across in the videos and in the audio and all that sort of stuff. No. I'm trying to work out a way of being able to share the immersive files with people as well, because obviously I can't do that on YouTube at the minute. But working on that. Should we crack on?
Yeah, because we're boring the hell out of people. Come on.
Fair enough. Here we go. Boom.
Thomas Ross, good afternoon, Rats. Good afternoon, Thomas. Hope you're well. I've run out of Maltesers.
Oh no.
Keith. Good evening, Keith. Alan says, good evening, Rats and Rat fans from sunny Wolverhampton. You don't hear that very often. You don't. It's true. No. Mr. Abraham. Evening all.
Thank you, Lee. For reasons we won't go into too much detail, Paul didn't come to mind today. That was the plan, to do some shooting for some upcoming product videos. But thanks to the bug and the lurgy that's going around my kid's school, Paul, I think, quite wisely chose to stay away.
I don't know none of that business.
So Lee, we'll get sorted out sooner rather than later. Moving on.
Pets, good evening from sunny Wales, Valleys 1, California 0. What's been going on with Wales versus California? Is it some football thing?
I've no idea.
Don't know what's going on there.
No idea.
It's still light outside. It is it?
It is just about, yes.
Can't be shut, so I can't see.
Mm.
The Lamb. Good evening from Cardiff, Wales 2, California. What? This must be some footy game, some foosball thing going on.
Some sporting event thing that we have no idea about, probably.
Oh, chatting amongst themselves. Next one.
Yars.
Greetings, rats and rodents. Hope all is well and spring is treating you warmly. We are getting it. Nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dave, evening lads, loving the spring weather here in sunny York. It's sunny everywhere in England. What is going on?
It's great. Long may it continue.
Yes. Hello from the wet state of Michigan. See,
Oh.
they're getting all the crap weather. Hey, do you know on Friday it's going to be 20 degrees?
Yeah, lovely.
Damn.
I shall be in Kenilworth, just south of Birmingham, for the weekend.
Nasty. Farid, evening, Farid. Lee says, I saw the Skipney Drive the other day and did wonder.
We all wonder, Lee.
That was pre-unloading. Chris, evening, Chris. Mr. Shahaba. He says, hi, kids. Monkey Base, good evening. All British summer. Time reduces the time difference for me. Glad to be able to join you guys live again. Jive's studio is looking super neat and Paul's R6 looks glorious. Thanks, mate.
It's rare. I'm filming, so it does look tidy at the minute. I was expecting Paul to come along, and normally what happens is he walks in and goes, "What on earth have you done? Why is this place in such a tip?"
Boxes everywhere.
Yes, normally.
Don't know how he works like it. Farid, do you think the new Ditto is worth upgrading to? I don't really know much about the old Ditto, to be honest. So
the loop, what was it called? The loop tightening feature, which I can't remember the name of, Loop Snap is worth the price of admission.
Yeah, but your first beat has to be on.
Yes.
So it doesn't. If you like, if you want to record 4 bars and then you end on bar 4, beat 3, it doesn't correct that. So it won't add stuff on. It will only subtract stuff.
You've got to still be good at it or reasonably tight at it, but it does help a lot, I think.
What was the? No, it's great. I mean, it sounds great. I think it's 40. I was quite surprised it's 44.1.
It's twice the size in recording time.
Yeah,
than the original ones. It's 10 minutes rather than 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, it's good. It is really good, isn't it? It's a clever thing. I mean, for the price of it, it's. I'm not much of a. I wouldn't. For me, it's something that's that would go in the cupboard and maybe get brought out. Oh, I could do with that. I think it's a great idea. It's a great thing to have to even record ideas. If it was possible to record multiple ideas.
Yes.
And I can see why you said that you can upload it to the phone, because there is something on the phone that suggests that.
Yes.
It's not that.
No, it's not that.
It's weird, isn't it? It's a really weird thing. Anyway.
Yes, it did definitely look like it should be able to do that, but maybe that's future development.
Maybe. Graham, evening rats and everyone. Evening, Graham. Shahaba Synergy Sin 1 is en route. Nice. Now need to decide which module to start with. So I can help with that. Because you like quite the heavy stuff, don't you? I would say if you want a high gain one, I mean, probably my favorite. I've got probably 3 favorites. The Dr. Z,
the Z-Rec,
the Z-Rec, the Dumble, which is called the
OS, yeah.
But both of those, I mean, the OS does get high gain, gets way more high gain than a Dumble.
Yeah,
way more. And I've got a whole cupboard full of them here.
I like the Mark II, the version 2 Soldano as well.
BEBB.
It's a good one.
Can't go wrong with the BEBB because that does most stuff. The only one I tell you don't go for is the Metropolis one. It's
Oh,
I don't like
okay.
it. I don't like it at all, and I'm not the only one. I've had conversations with people, and yes,
Okay.
the rest are fantastic that I've
Yeah.
tried. JHS says, I guess Paul drew the line there, no bugs. I guess Paul drew the line. Very good. Very good.
Yes.
David, hello, mate. He says, Paul, have you ever mentioned that you took lessons? Why is that?
I'm not quite sure if it's Putin or Trump as an Oompa Loompa.
Oh, is it? Is that what it is? Hey, for all you know, that could be David. Have you ever mentioned you took lessons from Guthrie before last week? I don't know.
I think you have, yeah. Well, I know that, but I know you, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure I have. I must have done. I mean, I don't shout about it because I don't want Guthrie to be ashamed.
Yeah. This is what his prodigy has come to.
Yeah. Oh, God. Hi, Rats and Chats. Anton. Hi, Anton. Hope you're well, mate. Mr. Phil. He says, you fellas back on your regular time for me. There we go. Go and check out Phil's podcast, 40 Watt Podcast. It's awesome. I listen to it while I run. Max. Oi, oi.
Oi, oi.
Been a long time since I rock and rolled into live. Nice.
And here we are.
Bruce Ablack. Farid, I have a Boss Looper and a Singular Sound Eros loop studio with a Beat Buddy, and I still ordered the Ditto 2 for its loop, snap, and simplicitar.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Even I can work it eventually.
Lee says, shall I join and tell you my woes? And Paul can tell me that I'm an umpty. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea, actually.
Let me post the link. Here it is for those who wish to join. Remember, you don't have to use the link to enjoy the show. If you do want to come in and tell us your woes or tell us how wonderful your life is, please do make sure you're somewhere quiet and you have a camera as well. You won't get in without a camera because, I mean, only Paul has the face for radio. So
absolutely. And your meat and 2 veg are firmly tucked away.
Unless we can make jokes out of it. So yeah.
No, we get banned, whatever happens. So
yeah, it's true.
I think you should, Lee. Otherwise, I'm coming on with my nan. Oh, it's got his nan on.
Nan Moxie.
Welsh nanny. Bring on the Welsh nanny. The Welsh. I'm trying to think. What's the word? Anyway.
Matriarch.
Yeah, if you want. I'm trying to think of what's the Russian word for grandma?
Gransky.
Gransky.
I don't know.
Babushka. No, not babushka. Something like that, isn't it? Anyway, doesn't matter. Come on, let's go on.
I have.
Oh, sorry. Cinevision David Bowie tribute show. Hi, Paul and James. Hope all is well. Just a quickie. Boss, GTX or Helix, and why? Ooh. Oh, man. Well, I'd say the GTK. GTK. What's the K? GT, is that the GT1000? Or the
GTK is a GT. Well, the only one thing I'm a GT1000 core.
Oh, okay. Helix and white. Oh,
I think it has to be GT1000.
Well, it's more modern tech.
Yeah, that would be why for me.
Yeah, there's loads of great patches out there for Helix. I'd definitely try them. I would try both. I would try both. There's a lot of things I don't like about Helix, and there's some great stuff about the GT1000.
I don't think you helped them, mate.
No, I know, because I don't. Yeah, because I think
Yes.
Yeah, it's a real difficult one.
At this point, we have to do this.
Mr. Rock, thank you, sir. He said, hi, Rats. Thanks again for the Sin 20 IR vid. I'm 10 days in and 4 modules up. Damn, they got you, haven't they? I bagged a used HBE for 150 quid on something nice.
Very nice.
Others are the Z-Rec, DS, and OS. Look at that. Isn't that funny? So most of the ones we were talking about.
Yep, exactly.
So the OS and the Z-Rec. The DS Dirty Shirley's great.
Yeah.
DS. Yeah, well done, mate. Lovely. That was a good an HB for 150 quid.
That's an absolute barge.
Well done.
Right, are you sitting down?
Come on then.
I've mopped my brow.
Come on, get him on. Get him on.
Ladies and gentlemen, greatness is coming amongst us. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Lee. I need to get rid of that thingy before I do this. I need to get rid of that. Abraham!
Ah, there he is. Look, you've got a little YouTube studio. Haven't you got any lighting?
Yeah. Should I put it on?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Is that too much?
A bit.
Do I look sunburned?
You got any dry powder?
I'll put that one on instead.
Oh,
That
moody.
looks like a police interview room now.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, no, neither would I.
I would.
So how we doing, chaps? All right?
We're all good, mate. You're a bit quiet. Could you get
Oh, shall I just come a bit closer? How's that?
It's all fine.
It's all very intense. We love it.
Come on, tell us all about it.
I think I came on and when I got it, but I bought the Fractal FM3. I'm pretty sure I came on and showed it, didn't I?
You did,
show
yeah.
and tell type
You did,
thing,
yeah.
Anyway, it's gone.
I know it has.
Well, it hasn't been sold yet because the person hasn't paid me. But to be fair to them, they haven't got it yet.
No. Hi.
Mr. Ivy has bought it off me. So just to get the first thing out of the way, the sounds in the FM3 are amazing. There's no getting away from that. The amp sounds, the effects sounds, everything is top notch as you'd expect.
Yeah.
It was just the application, I guess, of the way that the whole thing works and the menus and the way that it's all set up and everything. That was just, it was gradually doing my head in, to the point where, I mean, how long did I own it for? Probably about a month. And I gigged with it twice. I mean, in that month, I probably did about 8 gigs, but I only actually took the FM3 out, maybe not even twice. Was it twice? Yeah, I think it was twice. Because I was just a little bit kind of using the computer app is brilliant. The computer app is brilliant. So if you leave it on the floor in your studio, plugged in, and just use the computer app to control it, you'll be absolutely golden. Absolutely no problem at all. But I did a gig the other week, and it was just amateur hour. It was proper comical. It just went from bad to worse, because I was just. There's one thing that it did that, of course, I never realised that it did before I left the house, and that is you set your preset up with your scenes, and I set this preset up with all the scenes that I needed in it to do the gig. Then you have to map the foot switch configuration to match what you want. So you want that foot switch to go between scene 2 and 3, that foot switch to go between scene 3 and 4. Hold that foot switch down, it will go to 8. Whatever. Now that foot switch needs to be mapped to that preset, because otherwise that you have to actually physically link them together. And I didn't do that. And I got to the gig, and I had my preset in front of me, and I started to just press the pedals, and I was thinking, why isn't it changing to the correct scenes? It's going all over the place. What's happening? And I thought, it's on the wrong foot switch layout. Oh my God. How do I get it to get just without the computer? I'm at a gig. I haven't got my computer. How do I, on the machine, change the seat? I just didn't know. Frantic Googling. And of course, we were in a crap signal area. So my bloody phone didn't work. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get through this? So luckily, the foot switch mapping that was currently selected linked to another preset. I was able to select the presets. That's quite easy. You just turn that big knob and it changes. So I went on to another preset, and I thought, right, okay, well, at least I can get through the gig. I'm on the wrong preset, but it doesn't matter. I can get through the gig. I've got a lead sound, I've got a drive sound, I've got a clean sound. That's fine. So anyway, I started to calm down, did the first set. Throughout the first set, I am thinking to myself, it's really, really bassy. I could do with maybe rolling off a bit of low end off the cab. because I think I've only rolled it off to about 70 hertz. I probably need to turn it up to maybe 100, 120, something like that. I thought, well, I'll know how to do that. That's really easy. So during the break, got down on my knees with my glasses on, squinting at the little screen.
She said.
Yeah, exactly. Squinting at the little screen. And I went in and I pressed the button, and one of the icons on the screen, because it shows you all the blocks on the screen, and they're all linked up, you know. And it started to blink, and I thought, no, that's not. I don't want one of my blocks to blink, because that's I know that's bad. So I just exited that and went and found it another way. Anyway, got to the cab setting, rolled off a bit of the bass end. Didn't think anything more of it. End of the break, we're going back on set number 2. I turn it. I get my guitar on, switch my wireless system on. Nothing. No sound. Nothing at all. I thought, oh my God, what have I done now? What have I done now? And I'm really starting to panic, you know, because I know we're literally about to start when the drummer gets behind his kit and puts his in-ears in, and he's literally going to take no prisoners and go 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, oh my God. So again, I had to move to another preset, which worked, and that preset only had a drive sound and a lead sound, and that was it. That's all I had to get me through set number 2, was just a drive sound and lead sound. So I had to keep backing off the volume on the guitar, which under normal circumstances is okay, but you guys know the amount of gain that I use. So
I was about to say, I've got the solution to that, mate. I've been playing with, I think I finally found an amp that has enough gain for you.
Oh, okay. Excellent. It's 2 amps gaffered together, is it?
No, 5150.
Yeah, actually the 5153 in the Fractal is excellent.
Oh my God, how much gain does that amp have?
Hold on a second. We're not talking about how much. We're not talking about that amp. Right. There's so many issues here. So hold on a second. What's easier? So you got too much bass on your guitar playing. There's a mixing desk. Just go over and reduce it on the mixing desk.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
I didn't think of that.
But there's number one. How many sounds do you use in a gig?
I could 4, 5.
Oh, 4. Okay, I thought you used 3. I was going to say, well, there's 3 pedals on the
other night.
There's 3 pedals on the FM3. I'd have clean sound, overdrive sound, lead sound. Bosh. I would personally go out like that.
Yeah. Well, you know. Anyway, just to finish off what my troubles were. When I was fiddling about with the menus and that block was flashing, basically what that was doing was breaking the link between the amp and the cab. So the amp and the cab link got broken, which is hence there was no sound. Because when I got home, I was able to plug it into the computer and work out what the heck have I done, which made the sound drop out. And that's what it was. And I just thought, all those things combined, I just thought, do you know what? This is, I can't be doing with it. And I just kept thinking about, I've got summer gigs coming up with Galahad where we're going overseas, we're doing festivals. I can't be in the middle of a forest in Poland doing a gig, and all of a sudden I get another issue where I haven't understood it, or haven't read the manual properly, or whatever, or seen a YouTube video that explains something, and something goes wrong again, and I just couldn't handle it.
So you have hit the nail on the head there, mate.
What, that I'm a numpty?
No, it's that there is a certain amount of RTFM that needs to happen.
Oh, absolutely. I fully hold my hands up to that. Absolutely.
There's that, and there's also you're a bit of a excuse my terminology. You're a bit of a fiddler.
Yeah, you could be right there as well.
So you're like, oh, that amp, it was great at that last gig, but God, if it just had a little bit more of this, as opposed to going like that. So I've got one patch that I use in the XFX3, one patch with 8 different scenes in it or whatever. That's all I use. That's the only thing it gets switched on to do, because I've got everything built into that. When I go out live, I've got a MIDI foot controller, clicks between all the scenes. Job's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
At this point, I'm going to bring some sanity into the conversation. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the 40 Watt podcast.
Sanity. I'm just here to derail the conversation.
Well, you know,
that's my goal.
Nothing like a good bit of derailment.
Exactly.
So anyway, just to conclude, I'd just like to say that I've gone back to this because it's got 4 knobs on the top, which have got dual concentric pots, and that'll do. I can't get into any trouble with this.
Jeez.
So,
and you're happy with that? You happy with the sounds on it?
I love it.
Well, it won't work now. He's got it wet.
The thing is, you're a man that needs to use an amp, but don't want it, but doesn't want to use an amp. That's
an interesting comment.
It's mind-boggling.
But it is. It's like you're a man that doesn't want to deal with all the tech sort of side of things. You want to be. I mean, an amp is there. Phil will say, you got an amp there. You go, okay, this gig, I need a bit more treble, a bit less bass, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
and you're done.
And
it's so easy to go kick like that.
And that amp right there has got at least twice as many knobs as it needs.
That one.
Yeah.
Do you know the amp that Lee needs? Because he needs an amp that can fly. He needs an amp that's got DI output. So he needs an amp 1.
He does need an amp 1. An amp 1
needs an amp 1.
That's a good shout. He needs an amp 1 or a synergy, a little synergy syn as Shahar Bar has just bought a little Syn 1 or something.
Rev G20.
The IR20.
Yeah. Rev G20 has the 2 notes built in.
Yeah. The Rev G20. That's a great shout, and that's probably got some gain.
That's got a lot of gain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that Synergy, the new Synergy one that's come out, does look nice. Actually, I have to admit. Yeah. Interesting. Anyway,
we'll get you playing tube amps again, Lee. We will, I promise.
I don't know about that.
Or die trying.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's my woes anyway. So I've had a nice month with the Fractal experience, and audio wise, it's fantastic. But application wise, when you haven't got a computer, it left me. I've got extra grey hairs.
But the funny thing is, I had a similar thing at a gig the other day, not bizarrely with a computer. You can, with Pro Tools, you can either have your licenses on your iLock, or you can have them on the cloud, or you can have them on hardware.
Yeah.
I thought I had all my licenses on my iLock. Got to the gig underground, went to start Pro Tools, and it went cannot connect to iLock Cloud. I'm like, but it's there.
Yeah.
Moments of, oh my God, what have I done? Yes. Well, mate, I'm quite gutted I didn't get it today, but I'm very glad that Paul's not down with Lurgy because of it. So
that's true. Thanks, mate. Yeah, much better. Well, I'm sorry you went through all the crap, mate. That was
no, it's fine. It's one of those things. It's a journey, isn't it? You have to try these things to see if it suits you, and I appreciated the time I had with it. Sounds like a long lost relative now, doesn't it? I appreciated the time we had together, but it just wasn't to be.
Yeah,
that's half the fun, isn't it? Trying
more of an ex-girlfriend than a long lost relative.
I didn't get that intimate with it, but I might with the IR2.
All right, mate. Well done. At least you got sorted.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, indeed. All right,
are you hanging around? Are you
we can do. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh no, Phil. What have you bought? You must have bought something this week.
I bought something a few weeks ago that finally arrived, so I haven't.
I
bought nothing this week.
Let's have a look. What is it?
This thing.
Oh,
this old piece.
Oh, look at that!
Is it a is it a US one, or is it a?
It's a Wide Sky made here in US.
That's not what I thought it was.
No, so these things are way too expensive. And one popped up on Reverb a couple of weeks ago, and one of my listeners knew I'd been really wanting one. And they sent me the link, said, oh, this is the first reasonably priced one I've seen on Reverb in a while. And by reasonably priced, he means the guy listed it at $2,400 free shipping.
Oh, cool.
The one before this that sold on Reverb sold for $6,500.
Jeez.
And so I decided the guy had one feedback, exactly one on Reverb. And so I was like, Reverb will protect me if this goes wrong. And the only reason I'm willing to say the price is because you can go look on Reverb and see how much it cost me.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about it. And so I was like, let's take the gamble. And I ordered it. The guy was in Norway. And so Norway. And so, but he responded to all my messages. He took extra pictures for me. He took pictures when he took it to the post office, like very communicative. Turns out it was 100% legit. It arrived yesterday.
Wow.
I got it restrung, and I'm going to play it for my Blues Festival gigs tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, next week.
And did you have to pay like some hideous Trump tax on this?
I don't know how it all works. Like, I don't understand all the laws, right?
Right.
It's not new, though, is it?
It's not exactly. It's used, and it's an originally made U.S. product.
So you don't get Trump taxed.
There's no tariff or customs for something that was made in the U.S. that's secondhand and coming back to the U.S.
Oh, okay.
And so I had the same thing when I bought my Novo Ceres S. The guy I bought it from was in Dubai, and so when it came back to the U.S., there was no customs or tariff on it.
This is going to make me sound like a terrible heathen, but it is wooden, isn't it?
Yeah.
It looks kind of like a dobro type, like almost steel. You know, it looks.
Yeah, it looks like a James Trussart, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It has got that look about it. Isn't there? There's another guitar that looks really similar. Something Sister. That's what I thought it was.
Oh yeah, Little Sister by G&G or R. It's 2 letters, something and something. Little Sister.
Yeah, and it looks almost exactly the same.
Very similar. So I was talking to Patch, the guy that makes these. I posted an Instagram reel on it yesterday, just kind of a goofy thing, right?
Yeah.
And so Patch, the guy that makes these, commented because I tagged him in it, and he asked me what the serial number was, and I told him because he said it looks like one of the older ones. And so this was one he made in 2019. And based on the serial number, he said, yeah, the one I made for Gary Clark Jr. is the next one I built after that one. So
nice.
Yeah. It's real fun to play. It's really small. It's really, really small. So it's a little getting used to. Sitting down is actually a little awkward because it's so small, but standing up, it's really comfortable.
You've got to be careful because obviously it's below desk height when you do that, and saying it's really uncomfortable because it's small.
Yes, I can't.
You should be saying.
I need to be playing up here so people know what my hands are doing.
So I was going to ask about that. So if we in the UK, if we decide to retaliate against these US tariffs, that could affect the cost of things like Sir guitars and Friedman amps and anything from America that comes into the UK.
But apparently, I was listening to the press, the what's it called, the Oval Office press thing.
Yeah.
When Trump and Starmer were together, and Trump was going, "Well, I made him work." I can't do the impression. It made him work really hard. Basically saying there will probably be a trade agreement between the US and the UK rather than tariffs.
Yeah.
They said the opposite on the news today.
Oh,
yeah.
And I've got a really expensive guitar coming from America.
Tomorrow will be a different story too. So who knows? I wish I could keep up with it.
At this point, I mean, once again, I mean, I feel out of my depth.
It's
and I feel
takeover, is it?
completely in awe. Please welcome Vinny the
Vinster.
Greetings.
What is up?
All right.
Yeah. Everything's good.
Cool.
I think.
Good. What have you bought?
Well, I don't have it with me yet, but I grabbed.
Don't mention it until next week, I would say.
Okay.
Oh, no, you can. No, go on, because it's. I would say it's going to be exciting next week when it comes on. But mention it.
All right. So I was able to snatch one of the new James Tyler guitars that are coming out of China. One of the new releases.
Oh.
So I won't even show you a picture. We'll wait for the.
What's the latest on your Tyler, Paul? Because you isn't it going for a?
Yeah, but it's still here. It's still here. So they're building another body. They're building another body, and I'm having some different pickups put in, which is quite exciting. A different brand of pickups.
So presumably that one's got to go back, is it? Because
that's going back. Yeah, because they're building a new body. And they're going to fix out all the stuff that I want fixed, and then hopefully that neck's going to go on the new guitar.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
just about to say, because there's not, if you take the pickups and the body away, there's not a lot left, really, isn't there?
No.
Right, Trig, where's your broom?
Yeah.
Trigger's broom. Yeah.
No, I love it. The neck's perfect. The neck's perfect if I can keep the neck. So we'll see. We'll see. 'Cause there's a little issue with the neck. There's a little issue.
I'm surprised they're going to transplant it, but that's cool if they do. If you like it.
Yeah. Well, I specifically asked for it. I said, look, I really like this neck, and it's if I can keep it. I mean, maybe the next neck will be exactly the same, but I don't know. But, yeah, we'll see. And it's going to cost quite a lot, I think, because the neck's got quite a few upgrades on it. So I think ideally would keep the neck, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Let's get into some more questions just because we can keep up and stuff and this stuff.
Yeah.
So boom.
Scrunge. There we go. Well, you've heard the story.
Yes.
Grigor says, evening Rat
Very
Pack.
well.
Be with you shortly after getting the kids down. Hope everyone's having a great week. And to you, mate. Mr. Cassidy, he says, hello, the rats and the Rat Pack. Hope you're all great. And to you, mate. Max, Welsh Granny is Nain.
Nan.
Nan.
Nine? Nain?
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 Nain.
Nine sounds distinctly German.
Isn't it?
Das grandma. Yes.
That's good. Now, Steve, Friedman, IRX, IRD, or IRJ, which do you prefer? I haven't tried the IRJ.
None of them. Get one of them.
I'd probably go for the IRD. Is that
That's the Dumble
The
one.
D is the more like the plexi sound
The
one.
silver
Yeah,
one.
Yeah.
That's the one I would go for.
I thought the IRD was the Dumble sounding one.
No, I think the IRD is the Dirty Shirley.
Yeah, it's like a Dirty Shirley. Yeah.
Oh.
And you could always punch it with an overdrive pedal in the front of it if you want to get to that JCM 800 kind of thing.
Yes, I agree. Although there's
And
quite a lot.
why wouldn't you?
Lee, because Lee, you've had both, haven't you? You've had those two.
Yeah.
The IRX and the IRD.
Yep.
Of course he has. Of course he has.
I preferred the IRX, but
Yeah, because you like a lot of gain. Greg says, by the way, I just hit the like button. Do a solid for the lads. Cheers, mate. Yes, give us a like. I keep forgetting to ask. Give us a like. I don't want to beg, but I'm going to beg.
I'll beg.
Okay. Keith, it seems that the only comment on Jive's dynamic grading video doesn't seem to be that popular. I guess some you went dynamic grading video. And you're wondering why it's not popular. What the hell is dynamic grading?
It's basically a plugin, but it's a dynamics processor, but it does it slightly differently and a bit more transparently. I think it's just another dynamics plugin.
There's a bunch of guys with backhoes and stuff clicking on that video, think you're grading property or something.
Yes, probably. No, fortunately, it's nothing to do with that. It
sounds amazing. I'll make a note of it.
No, you probably won't. It'll bore you to tears. Actually, Lee, you'd probably like it because you can compress the living you-know-what out of stuff, and it doesn't sound like it. That's why it's cool.
That's what all compressors do, don't they?
Only if Mr. Drew's using them.
I like compression.
You compress hard. No, it's just another plugin. And agreed. Some of these videos I'm making because I want to make them, not because they're particularly high.
Is it a sponsor video?
Yes.
There we go. That's okay. I understand. I completely understand. Right.
He's got kids to feed.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And gear to buy and gear to pay for.
Yeah. Jim, what's better for a 2x12 AM speaker cab? 2 4-ohm speakers in parallel or 2 16-ohm speakers in series connection? I'm going to ask Phil for that because that sounds like a Phil question.
Well, 2 4-ohm speakers in parallel is going to get you 2 ohms, so don't do that.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
If you can go the opposite direction, you can get 2 4-ohm speakers in series and you can get 8 ohms. Or you can do 2 16-ohm speakers in parallel and you can get to 8 ohms. I'm going to say you're probably better off going with the 16s because Do you know how rare 4-ohm speakers are?
I was about to say, and 16-ohm speakers will be cheaper as well.
Yeah, 16-ohm speakers are going to be so much easier to find, so much cheaper. Get those. Don't go 4-ohm speakers.
No.
Also, they're more versatile. You can use them in more. If you decide someday, oh, I want a 4x12 and I want to reuse these speakers. I'm not saying you will, but if you did, you can very easily use those same 2 speakers and put them into a 4x12. Whereas 2 4-ohm speakers, never going to get to use those in a 4x12.
No.
Right.
No. There you
go. Sorry, I'm looking something else up. Here we go. Glenn, if possible, can you demo a Nacho Stratocaster? A lot of great feedback about these guitars. Yeah, I saw that John Cordy did I haven't watched it, but he did a Nacho Telly, didn't he?
Yeah, you want to know what it sounded like?
Go on, what did it sound like?
A Telecaster.
Well, he's bought 2, isn't he? He's bought a Natrocaster and a Danocaster.
Danocaster, yeah.
Yeah, and he says I can't keep them both, so he has to get rid of one. So he's been gradually comparing them and doing videos. But yeah, I mean, it's probably all in the feel, though, isn't it? Rather
The thing
than
is,
the sound.
Fender Custom Shop do such a great job.
Yes.
I don't know why you'd. Unless it's cheaper, which I don't think they are. I think the Nacho stuff's really expensive, isn't it?
$8,000.
Oh, Jesus.
$8,000 for a Stratter Telecaster.
That's crazy.
I love the way Vinny's camera is zooming in as he goes.
Oh.
Yeah, an $8,000 Telecaster or Stratocaster. If it's not vintage, and if Jimi Hendrix didn't sweat on it, I'm not paying $8,000 for a Fender anything.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. You could get such a great. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
I have a Fender Custom Shop Telly. They're really good. If you go cheaper,
Same.
Nash. If you can get a good deal on an LSL, those are really good. If you stay in the nitro finishes and you don't like the pickups, just change them out. You'll be golden, I think.
Yeah, that's the only thing about those LSLs. I didn't like the pickups, but everything else about the LSLs are brilliant.
One of the LSL Tellys I had amazing pickups in it.
Did it?
The other one I didn't like, but one did. And it was like a butterscotch one with like a relic finish on it. It was really good.
Nice.
But it
Paul,
it didn't beat my Custom Shop Telly sound
Paul,
wise.
remind me, was it LSLs we were trying the day we went to Guitar to buy Telecasters for your mate? They were great, really nice.
Yeah. That pink one was really cool.
And the white one with the red under.
Yeah, you like that one, but you really like
red. I really liked that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I'd love to do. I think it'd be quite. Going back to Glenn. I think it'd be quite unusual. Unless one came up for a bargain, I think it'd be quite unlikely. But I will keep my eyes open, Glenn. I will definitely keep my eyes open. Funky Bass. Sometimes I feel embarrassed to say who my bass teacher's former students are because of how accomplished they are. And then there's my level of comparison. So I get Paul not going on about it. Yes. Carl, why is the signal flow for guitar pedals right to left? Typically flows are left to right. Is there a good reason? Well, I guess it's apart from the way that all pedal manufacturers or most pedal manufacturers put their jack.
I got an answer.
Oh, go on.
Because most guitar players are right-handed and the jack comes out the right side. Otherwise, it would be going the other direction. You'd be tripping over stuff.
That makes complete sense.
It does.
That makes complete sense.
It does. Genius.
Well done, Benny. Yeah. See, this is why these guys are on. We just Max, Jim, 216 in parallel. There we go.
Every time.
That's the answer.
Keith. They're talking amongst themselves.
Chatting amongst themselves, yeah.
There we go. Chatting amongst themselves. Next one down. Jay just pulled through his breath and wiped his glasses. There we go. Jim. No,
they're on there.
Okay, Anthony. Anthony says, I'm totally okay with the Fractal workflow and menus, but I have been using them for 17 years. I programmed on the rack units before Axe Edit was released. I guess if you're used to it.
Yeah.
They need to bring out one with a touch screen. Or I mean, personally, if I was doing any sort of serious gigging, or if I was really trying to program,
he's gonna make me feel bad now, isn't he?
Yeah.
No,
If it's-
don't feel
if-
bad.
if-
Don't
if-
feel
if
bad
I
at
was-
all.
If I
No.
was doing serious gigging.
No. I would take the laptop. I would take my laptop to a few gigs until I was happy, so I could just quickly go bosh, and then unplug it again. But I've done that a few times, but with other equipment.
I'm with
But
you, Lee.
You shouldn't need to, should you? Keith, on the Boss GT versus Helix, I think a lot depends on how much you care about having lots of specific built-in emulations of real-world amps. That's true.
Yeah.
I think the amps in the Helix suck really badly.
I don't think they're that great.
No, they're terrible.
They're fine.
I love the effects. I love the effects in a Helix. The effects are brilliant. But the amp sounds, the Boss amp sounds are much better.
What do you think, Phil? What's your? Because you're a Helix user.
I still have a Helix, and I sold my IR2.
There we go.
I'm just
It's,
saying.
it's preference, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
what people.
Yeah.
So the IR2 sounded fine, but ultimately the advantage to the Helix was that it was all in one. But
Yep.
I find the amps can sound spectacular. You just gotta spend some time dialing them in. The stock setting that they come at when you just click an amp in I love how I did this, like that's how that works on Helix. When you click on an amp, you gotta dial it in. Don't trust the settings that it gives you. You've got to do some work.
But your own IR makes a massive difference, I find, as well.
It
And
does.
If you can settle on your own IR, which I'm lucky enough to have done,
Yeah.
that takes away half the battle.
I've got a whole folder full of IRs, and the one I go to is the one I made of my Super Reverb. So
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. Of course, it's debatable how realistic many of these emulations are. Of course. Yeah.
Yes.
Max, that depends on the efficiency. Okay, off we go. Yeah.
Yeah,
another
yeah.
quick question.
speaker efficiency and all that.
Next one. Dave, bought 3 of your Tonex packs last week. Ready for the big Tonex that I'm getting for my birthday. Happy birthday, Dave. Your sound's way better than any others I've used. So well done. Oh, cheers, Dave.
Aw.
Thanks, mate. Thank you very much. Jeff,
Yeah,
Carl.
They're chatting. Boom.
See, going back to a year or two ago when I had a Tonex pedal, I'd done loads of gigs with your matchless capture, with various drives in front of it and all that. Maybe I should have just stuck with that.
Yeah.
We did say at the time. I think we said at the time.
Lee.
Well, I've got a few Tonexes here. If you want to.
Yeah, there you go.
I had one of those blue boxes.
Did you? You had the blue box.
Yeah.
Have you had the Amp One?
No, I did try one out in
You
a
didn't like
shop.
The intro
I
to
thought
my
it was-
podcast is a
I thought it
Tonex.
was, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I thought,
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
it's a Tonex with a dumble capture.
oh, he's showing off his pedal drawers now. Look at this.
I know.
I'm so glad you didn't say showing off his drawers, because that would have meant something completely wrong.
That's a different show.
That's the
That's
other
on Thursday.
That's the other video hosting website that he uses.
I'd love to look in John Petrucci's drawers.
Keith, recent Boss apps seem quite well set up to do this. I'm not sure about others. Oh yeah, but hold on a second, because we missed a couple, and I know that they're talking, but Lee's here. So Lee, just get a 20 IR and a plethora in the loop.
Yeah.
That's a fair comment.
Yeah.
Not specifically for the Fractal, but have you tried using a tablet on a stand with an app for live gig tone tweaking with any MFX stuff?
I did it for the freaking H9, and it's awful.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to read mine. I was talking to Lee about him sharing his story.
Okay, mate. Anthony says too much bass across all patches. Global output EQ done. Either that, or it's on the desk.
Yeah. Wave to your sound engineer and go. Yeah.
Well, he should know.
This is high end. Low end.
That's amazing. But he should know anyway. He should have heard that. I mean, I know Lee's sound engineer is probably a singer or whatever, but
It's like having Litchfield on a gig.
oh my god. My
There's
God.
there's a band where the guitarist isn't the sound engineer. Is that true?
Oh.
Does that exist?
Yeah, honestly, so gigging with this guy called Danny Litchfield, and if you ever had to share, well, no, he would just mess it up. So he would go, "Oh, and you know, I can't hear it," because you know what singers are like. Is, "Oh, I need my vocal up. I need my vocal up." So what he'd do, he'd go into the app which controlled all the headphone mixes, and he'd ran with everybody else's headphone mix. And it was just like, and it happened every gig.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know a singer like that as well. Yeah.
and
It's why you say to your singers, or you log them into the router or the thing for the desk, and then you lock them out. You only give them access to their own thing.
Yeah.
every
They should submit written permission if they want any changes.
In triplicate in 3 months in advance.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating. You need a tour tech, mate. Absolutely.
Well, I did ask Paul, but he said, "What? I'm not coming on tour just to plug a mains lead in." So, okay.
Imagine that. Well, now it's not even that. Now it's just like you plug the R2 in. There you go, mate.
Well, yeah, you could carry the IR2. It's not heavy.
Oh, that's great. Thanks for the.
It's quite big though. Look, it's quite big.
Yeah, that's
Careful, because Steve Casardi is passing judgment.
Lee says Lee kissing the boss will make a braw thumbnail.
Pedal.
Oh,
Not Springsteen.
that's really good.
That's a very different experience.
Yeah, that's really good. Well done.
I'm sure there is an East Street in Southampton.
It probably is. Nelson P or Friedman IRX. We still talk about the IRJ is supposed to be really good. I haven't tried one, but it's supposed to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new one coming out.
Is there?
Not Friedman, but there's a new. There's a new. I mean, everyone should know about it, but I can't talk about it because it comes out on Tuesday.
Okay.
But everyone should know about it because it's been in the news
Okay.
enough. And I even think it was at NAMM.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's about as a well kept secret as
Oh well, it's past me.
A thing that is not a well-kept secret.
Anderton's having a controlling interest in.
In Victory Amps.
No, it's not Victory. But yeah, so Phil would like it. Phil would
really?
like it. I think yes, it's definitely more your thing.
Do I know about this already? See, I do know some things, and there's still always a lot I don't know.
We can talk about it. We can talk about it after the
Okay,
show.
we'll talk about it after.
Because I'm sure you've signed loads of NDAs anyway. So
Yeah.
No, actually, I don't sign a lot of NDAs. People
Don't
just
you?
tell me things and they just assume I won't talk about it. So I'm trying not to betray that trust. No, because I don't do a lot of demos. I don't do a lot of stuff like that. It's mostly just podcast talk. So nobody's really sending me anything. I have a couple of things here that I'm going to try to do demos on. But, for the most part, people just tell me things and just trust me not to say anything.
well, and I'm sure that someone else in the comments knows what it is. So if you want to comment, and then anyway, but it's not enough game for you, Lee. Although,
Okay, moving. Steve says, although
maybe Clifton Springsteen.
Yes.
Guitar or the wife? Are you, Chris Spiegel says, are you still liking the Tonix pedal? Yeah, Tonix pedal's great.
Love it. Yes.
Yes. I should lend you one of my IRT amps, says Max. Lee.
IRT is the Laney, isn't it? Yeah, Laney. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lionheart.
There's IR the entire alphabet, and I just don't know what they all are anymore.
Yeah.
I like the sound of the Laney, the overdrive and the preamp and stuff. I think it's really good. I don't know. I'm surprised it didn't get the traction.
James, you had one, and you guys said it was very Friedman-esque.
It's modded Marshall meets Friedman. That was a brilliant amp, and considering I spent absolutely no money on it,
Brilliant.
That was a hell of an amp.
Yeah.
But they tried to do it in pedal form, and it just sounded awful, didn't it? So
yeah.
Right.
There's something about big transformers and big stuff that doesn't affect the sound.
Yeah. Jez Jez Bass says, hi, what is the best Class D amplifier for a pub modeler? Sounds a bit strange. Thanks. Interesting. For
What,
a
an
pub
FOFR cab?
Yeah. Is that what you mean? Do you mean a class? Yeah, because a Class D amplifier.
Yeah. So it needs an
Solid.
actual amp.
What's
PA
that? What's that, Phil?
I was just saying, go ahead.
No, he's looking at the Class D solid state amplifiers. What he's
Yeah.
talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, but he says pub modeler for a pub modeler. So has he already got a modeler?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It sounds like I've not done that setup, but I can tell you based on someone I talked to and what they went with, because they said they tried a bunch of stuff. Scott Holiday from Rival Sons uses a Helix into a Seymour Duncan Stage 700.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he uses live, and he sounds flipping killer. Now he's also playing through 6 412s. So
So the guitarist I used to work with many moons ago used to cart around a modeler or a rack unit thing. He had the Marshall 2x20 1U power amp rack.
Yeah,
which was awesome and light. Okay, it's not Class D light, but it is valve. It's proper valve sounding into a 1x12, and it sounded awesome.
That's a great route.
And you'll get one of those. I think they were called 2020s or something like that.
Yeah.
You'd get one of those for about £100 on eBay or Reverb.
I don't think you get it that cheap, but yes, you are right.
There's a point though when you're using a modeler and then you're adding a power amp and then you're adding cabs on stage, where there's a point where I just go, why aren't you just bringing a pedal board and an amp?
Yeah.
At what point does it become just as inconvenient to do it this way as it is to do it the other way?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Bring a. I mean, I know it's a hell of a thing, but tonally, I would much rather have the matchless behind me. I know it's a big thing. I mean, it's only 35 watts.
Yeah.
35 matchless watts. But, but I'd rather have one of those behind me than use an FRFR or modeler any day of the year.
Yep. Me too.
Yeah, same. I had a tiny little pub gig the other day. I took a 50-watt 2-rock and a 4x10. And that's what I played.
and put it through an attenuator. Put your aux on top and have it quiet.
Where's go and grab my amp? James has borrowed my amp. Go and grab that.
I was about to say I don't have your amp.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, because this amp is.
It's in the packaging. I haven't taken it out because
Okay. Oh, there. Oh, that doesn't show anything. Okay.
Oh, hang on. Jesus. Yes, sir. Yes.
No. Sorry, Matt. No, I don't mean to be ordering. That's not what my plan was. It was because I think this is
a beast.
Oh yeah. Okay, so it's. I mean, I don't know how many patches you can have 32 patches on it.
Wow.
All the pots are motorized.
16.
So, how many? 16. Sorry, mate. So you have 16 different sounds, and all the pots are motorized. It does anything from pristine clean to nice sort of clean on the breakup up to really sort of high gain.
Lee's level of high gain.
Huh?
Lee's level of high gain.
It probably would go to Lee's level of high gain. And it's MIDI controlled. It's brilliant. It's all valve.
Yeah.
But it's also got loaded IR outputs and
an IR output, and it sounds amazing. It's got a great reverb built in. And if you're at a gig and you go, all right, a little bit too much, you just go store, and that's stored. Perfect.
Yeah. I want to talk about this next thing quite seriously because I don't know what it's like in the States at the moment, but last week in Europe we lost 2 major players in the music shop market.
Yeah,
and I always try and think of something that we're going to talk about during the show, and this very much came up. Now, both of these, I have friends in low places in the music industry, and by that I mean the MI industry rather than like the shops and stuff. And I know more about these 2 particular scenarios, then unfortunately I can let on, because I can't. It's not as cut and dry in either case as the general public or the press want it to be known. But in both cases, it's.
Well, why don't you can say that, you know, I don't know if this is true, but I've been told.
Okay, so I've been told there is a certain degree of miscommunication stroke misinformation about how one of the stores was set up. As in how GAK was not just GAK. There were more interests involved there. It's not just, a music shop's gone bust. It's way more complicated than that.
Yeah.
Again, Bax in Holland, I think they are.
Oh,
I think they're based in Holland. Certainly their warehouse, I believe, is in Netherlands. Again, there's more to that than meets the eye. It's not just simply a case of, we stopped trading because we've run out of money. It's not that simple. But either way, two major players in the online and bricks and mortar music shop space are now gone. Now, Paul and I have witnessed, quite frankly, one of the biggest players in online music retail, Thomann, firsthand, and it's beyond incredible, isn't it? The Thomann operation.
Yeah. It's incredible, but also we've been into GAK a couple of times and had some of the worst service ever.
Was that when Joe Branton worked there? That would explain it.
Every time, I would say the last 4 or 5 times I've been in there, either with you or with Greg.
Terrible.
It's been like pulling teeth to try and spend money.
God, it's awful.
Ridiculous.
Well, Sam Ash was like that too.
Was it?
Sam Ash turned into that, and so does Guitar Center.
Sam Ash was terrible.
Yeah, what's happening is a lot of those guys are not like busting their butt on commission anymore, and you got kids that are working there that could care less whether they do any work and serve anybody or don't. And the other thing is how they set the place up. I don't know who sets up those stores, but they're out of their mind. You got $3,000-$4,000 guitars on the bottom rack where everybody has destroyed them and nobody's going to buy them because they're all scratched up by some 12-year-old kid, right? And then the $300 guitars on the top shelf. The whole system is whacked with how they do things.
Well, Guitar Center was getting flack for having it the opposite way too, though. They were receiving flack for doing it the exact opposite, putting all the expensive, nice guitars out of reach or locking them up, where you had to ask for a sales associate to get them. I think when you're talking about something that's open to the public, like you're the Walmart of guitars or the whatever department store of guitars, you start to run into, you're going to alienate an audience regardless of how you do it. You're going to get the higher end shops that carry the nice stuff. You're going to alienate the people who are there looking for, Squire Classic vibes, and vice versa. You've got to understand you can't be all things to all people. Guitar Center is trying, because I have friends who are sales managers at some pretty big guitar centers across the South, and they've been telling me the stories about the way the administration is sorry, I work in public services, where the management, upper management, is trying to make some moves. Some of them a little harebrained, but they've got to change an entire culture of the stores, because what's happened is stores like Thomann, Sweetwater, that they've changed the game. They've changed how music stores build clientele and patrons, not just customers, but people that go to those stores again and again. And they've made it to where you have to meet those standards now, because that's the new standard. And if you don't, you're left behind.
But I used to say to, when I was sort of repping for Avid, people, the music store, I used to go to JK, I went to Guitar, I went to all the major players in the UK and around London. People would say, we can't beat Thomann on price. And I would say, then don't try. Beat them on service.
Exactly.
The problem is, Thomann's service is second to none.
Sweetwater. See, it's the Sweetwater problem.
You can't now beat them when you say to, you know, music shop X in little provincial town that might have a guitar that you want to buy, but you then say, well, I want the matching bag, the case, the everything that goes with it, the matching leather, this, that, and the other, the accompanying bits and pieces, and they go, oh well, we'll have to order those in, it'll be 6 weeks. Whereas you go to Toman and they say, oh yes, we've got it in the warehouse, it'll be in here in 5 minutes. Now, I appreciate that you don't necessarily, unless you're spending a serious chunk of dough, you probably wouldn't get on a flight to go to Treppendorf and, you know, travel the 4.5 hours from the airport to Treppendorf to do the thing. If you are in Europe and you like a good music shop, I would advise anyone to do it, because it's more than a day out. You could spend a week in there and lose yourself.
But the general public are not going to be invited to go, you know.
But you don't have to be. You can just go. You can just rock up to Toman.
Sure,
go in
but
the shop.
We just see the shop. That's just the shop.
But if you're going to spend some money, if you're going to go to the expensive room upstairs at Toman, you know, you're going to get the same, if not better, service than you would going into the expensive rooms at Peach or at. And the difference is, you won't get to the door of Toman and knock on the door and say, "Hello, I'd like to spend. I spent an exorbitant amount of money." Oh, you haven't made an appointment. Go away.
Yeah.
Because why would anybody do that? I don't understand.
I hate that model too. I really hate it.
So I'm sympathetic with GAC and with Bax, but I'm afraid. I read all the posts, all the people saying, "Oh, I've had brilliant service in there," and yet for the last probably 4 or 5 years, Paul and I have been going, actually, the service in GAC was shocking, appalling.
Really?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I hate that, considering I've become friends with so many that used to work there. Of course, they don't work there anymore. Yeah, that's really frustrating.
GAC is an awkward one because it's not as cut and dry, and I'm afraid I really can't say, because I'm sworn to secrecy about the actual reason.
I'm baffled to know what it is now.
Me too.
I'll tell you after. I won't. Don't worry. It's so, because the problem is everyone's assuming that the music industry is dead, and it isn't that, because Lee Anderton is doing very nicely, thank you, because he's a smart businessman and has a good business model. The guys down at Absolute, down in Poole, have a great business model that works. Guitar obviously have a thing that works. There are the smaller leading shops like Peach in the guitar world, and like who's PMT. The drum shop? PMT is slightly different because they are going against Toman. The difference is they've got enough big shops in enough places that they do have the buying power.
They closed the one near me though.
I think what we're seeing is, and these are obviously not the same, but some of the ones that have spread themselves too thin and they were too slow to adapt to the online side of things, you're seeing them go away. Look at Cosmo Music in Canada. I almost said Canada. Cosmo's gone. They've sold now, and Long and McQuaid is going to eat up a bunch of their stores and take them in. But I mean, this goes further back. This is people not adapting to the changing climate around music sales. A fraternity brother of mine from college ended up working at the Memphis Drum Shop in Memphis, Tennessee. It is the second largest drum-only music store in America. And it is doing extremely well. And he started working there in, it must have been 2012 or so. And he very quickly became the head of their online sales department. And I asked him in like 2013, so in the grand scheme of things, what do the sales look like compared in store to online? He said the online, the brick and mortar stays open because it's expected to stay open, but the online sales completely, he used scale like this. He said, brick and mortar sales, online sales. He said, that's where we do all of our business. And that's why they're still in business to this day. They adopted it very, very early.
And that's true. There are things. There are certain elements. I'm still scared that when Paul says he's ordered a guitar from the States and he's never actually seen it. Whereas if I was spending that sort of money on a guitar, I'd want to go and play it first. Now, I appreciate sometimes you can't. But
99% of the guitars I've bought online.
I've never bought a guitar online.
Because you can't go to the stores here and go, let's say you wanted to go see a James Tyler, right? Unless there's a used one in Sam Asher Guitar Center, there wasn't one there. Let's say I wanted to go look at a Rock and Roll Relics. They ain't there. So there's no sense driving an hour to a shop that I hate to say this and sound like a jerk, so I'm trying not to say this. I have better guitars in my house than they do in the store.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And if there is any good ones in the store, they've already been beat up. You know what I mean? So that's when you say that, that's great. I think that's awesome. I would love to go and try out something and fall in love with it and go, this plays awesome. I'm taking this one home. I don't have that luxury where I'm at.
But even in the UK, there are some high-end retailers. Yes, I'm going to name Peach, who say you need to phone us in advance to make sure we've got the ones you want to try. Well, that's just stupid. Sure. I think it is. I think it's ridiculous. You should go into a shop and go, I want to try 35 335s.
No, yeah, but that's the same with Andertons. Andertons have got a warehouse. If you want to get something from the warehouse, it's not in the same place. They've got to go and get the stuff. It's got to be delivered to the shop, and it's got to be that. You have got to plan that. I think that's fair enough. If you want to try the ones they've got in the shop, that's fine. But I personally, if I was going to go and buy, say, like, I don't know, 335, I would say, I want to try a whole load. Can you organize it?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, certainly, yes, it's a shame, when we see our brothers and sisters in the music industry, out of work now. That's a shame. There's nobody wants that for anybody. And I'm not going to say in both cases it could have been sin coming, because I can't say that. But it's a shame that two good stores that always had good deals and a good online presence are now no more.
Yeah.
Hey, we can do. Let's just do one last little story about GAC. I ordered, and James was there when it arrived. I ordered a hand wired Bad Cat Cub 3, I think it was. It was used from GAC. And James was there the day that you were at my house. The day it arrived, this box arrived. Literally, it was a box. No packaging.
It looked like the dog had eaten the box.
Oh my gosh.
There was no packaging. It was just a box, like a big box with the amp rattling around on the inside. The amp was knackered. But that they couldn't even be asked.
We picked it up and went, and you kind of felt the transformer go clunk.
Yeah.
It was just a joke. But anyway, let's
real quick, just for this will be fast. Vinny probably can relate. To give you an idea in the States how different it is, though. I just did a mileage radius just to give me an idea. So there's a couple of guitar centers within a couple of hours of me, but they're real hit or miss. Yeah. So for me to get to a good store where I could expect to play something like a Fender Custom Shop or anything other than maybe Gibson's low end line, like low end side of things, like expect to see those things. It would be the equivalent of you guys having to drive from London to Belfast or Amsterdam. That's how far it is from me to Nashville.
Now, the funniest thing there is not the distance; it's the way Phil said Belfast.
Yeah,
that's the way.
Belfast.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very sad, but could have been avoided. And let's move on to the news before we get in trouble.
I don't think we've got time for the news. Let's keep going because I think if we got time at the end, I think let's do it.
That was the news.
That was pretty much that was the news. We can do.
Okay, boom. In that case, carry on.
Keith, time for Java to use a door which doesn't have an eye lock. That's true, definitely.
Then all my plugins wouldn't work because all the plugins use eye lock.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Graham Campbell, my Fender Super Champ XD is very underrated gig and amp. Portable sounds great. Has both valves and some basic modeling. Nice one. I haven't tried one.
I forget about that.
I had one of those. It was a cool little amp.
Yeah.
Awesome. Shahaba, Paul, thanks for the synergy recommendations. Did you get your hands on the 410 Killer, Cali? Almost want to get it based on the name alone. No. Funny enough, I don't think. boutique amp distribution, the people that make Synergy stuff, I don't think they send me the higher gain stuff. I mean, mind you, they send me the SLO, but I didn't get sent the Cali. So, I mean, to be honest, it wouldn't have been my thing. So,
And that's why.
that's fine, yeah. It'd been, yeah, it's too much for me. Chris, to Lee, sorry, join late. What are you replacing the FM3 with? Yeah, a Boss IR2. There you go. Bass, play Norwegian Wood on that new guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to refresh myself on how to play it.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
JHS says the American tax. Very good.
Very good.
Very good. Mike, evening all, evening Mike. Joe Saxton, shouts to JTG. It hasn't arrived yet, Joe. We would have done. It's yeah, Vinny be on next week.
I'll have it then.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued because I just want to show you one thing, and it's probably not going to come across as it's all very, very low, but I don't know if you can see. You won't be able to see. It's almost like the American tilers have got a very, very slightly scalloped.
Yeah, they roll the edges. They roll the edges.
Yeah, but it's really rolled.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Allegedly, mine's supposed to have that.
Is
The
it?
overseas. That's what I heard. We'll see.
Interesting.
I like your healthy skepticism.
No, I can't wait. I think it's. I mean,
Because just like Paul, I have received an amplifier in a box wrapped in brown paper like fish and chips, and it all beat up when it got to the door, and that was Musician's Friend. So
if fish and chips that turned up in brown paper, an Englishman would be very upset.
Yeah, it's
Newsprint at the very least.
It
was
used to
brown
be
paper.
newspaper. It used to be newspaper.
Yeah.
I used to love it
Yeah.
in newspaper.
Yeah.
so you guys got all ink poisoning.
Yeah. Don't worry about that.
Lead-based ink,
Helps
probably.
you see in the dark.
Joe says, Paul, that's my dream guitar. Is that, are you talking about the JTG?
Yeah, the
All
title.
the- Yeah, who knows?
I think
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like yours. Yeah.
Blue Note guitar, evening all, evening Blue Note. Is Welsh Granny Code something? Absolutely.
No, it's not. It really isn't.
You should have been here at 8 o'clock.
Cherish your Welsh Granny. Pets, Joe Saxton, could you do a long stretch in the big house if caught? Just saying. I don't know. Evening, guys. Hope all is well.
It was a
And
prison time
now.
reference.
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
Going to see my Welsh nanny.
Yeah.
Phil, I think it's good that we're here. We could do like a English to British kind of translation
Yes.
for some shit.
Do you understand the irony of what you just said, though?
Yeah. Oh, I do. I do.
Graham Campbell says, I'd like to see the Nacho up against an Oswald. I don't know the Oswalds.
I don't know what an Oswald is either.
Something to do with grassy knolls, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah. I see where you went with that.
Yeah.
What's
Jim,
an
did you-
Oswald guitar?
did you guys see or hear the new Nux Solid Studio Mark II amp model? No. Oh, is that the one that Rob Chapman was
Yeah.
saying? Okay.
Well,
Only
yeah,
12 people watch his video or something.
yeah, slightly similar. Yeah, someone else did a review on it as well. Yeah.
Okay. You sound good?
Yeah, it
Okay.
looked all right. It's just dependent on whether you could get them, of course, because a lot of these products are getting harder and harder to actually find, to buy.
Luke, I'm late to the party, but are you guys going to the Bristol Guitar Show this Sunday? I didn't even know these are on. These little small. I didn't even know it was on. Bristol's how far is Bristol? It's not that far, is it, Lee? From us?
Hour
No,
from you?
about 90 minutes, less than.
I feel like every little village in the UK has a guitar show or something.
Bristol's not a village. Bristol's quite a serious.
Yeah, but like there's like every town seems to have like a guitar show.
Hang on. Is
Paul-
Bristol the same? Hang on.
Paul, are you going to the Great Beresford Little Titchford Guitar Show? Being held in the church hall.
Okay. You won't want to go, Paul.
Why not?
You won't want to go because you'll have to pay. And I'm not saying any more than that.
The hell? I don't pay.
Because it's.
I'm not paying.
I think it's the same people who do the other one.
They can stuff that then.
I think.
They can stuff that. Right.
Is that the London International Guitar Show that was held?
I think it is.
Not
It
in
look-
London.
the signage and it looks very similar.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Hollywood. I'll here is great comment. My Stag Strat is the best ever. I've changed everything apart from the scratch plate scripts. Very good.
Once again, triggers broom, everyone.
We had that last week, didn't we? Someone, yeah, Lee. I don't know if you saw that because someone commented on the Jet guitar video that we did, and he said, "Oh, the Jet guitar is the best. It's the best guitar ever. I've changed the pickups, the hardware, the electronics, the tuners. It's
And
brilliant." Yeah, and then it was just like.
It just had 6 new bodies and 3 new necks.
Oh my gosh.
Blue Note Guitar said, any guitar feels great if it's set up properly. I'm very, very lucky to have my guitar set up by Scoot, Arctic Monkeys, and Johnny Marr's guitar tech. He's currently refretting my Strat. Nice.
It is true, though.
Yeah.
You know, as we've proven, you can have a dog of a guitar set up by a genius and they become amazing guitars.
Yeah. Nectarius, evening gents. I feel that the tube amps are dying out. Mentality is going on during certain times of the year. Like right now, the internet is not raving on about it. Yeah, maybe
It'll roll back. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
No, it's fine, mate. No, please.
It'll roll back, just like everybody hated 80s guitar tones for the last 20 years of people bitching about it and everything. And now all of a sudden, every YouTube video is like, look at my 80s rack unit. Look at my 80s guitar. Look here. My mom's from the 80s. I brought her in on the video. So it's gonna come back, you know?
And to quote Tommy Lee Jones, that's why it's a revolution, not a movement.
People are listening to cassette tapes again.
Oh, God.
And
they are. Yes, they are.
If you get the Tommy Lee Jones reference, then you've seen equally bad movies as I have.
You already said it was a Tommy Lee Jones movie. You don't have to go further.
Sway knows sold my IR2 and kept my HX Stomp. Interesting. There you go.
Oh dear.
There are. It's you know, there's loads of people on the fence about.
Yep.
About, you know, some people love their HX stuff.
Yeah.
Sound of Vision, David Barrow Tribute Show says Paul and James do a top job, so don't forget to hit the like button, everyone. Yes, thank you.
When the person's name is as long as their comment.
Yeah. Thanks. I know we do say it, but a like and hitting the subscribe button. The like helps so much because we get nothing out of this, doing this live show. So
I always also want to go, David Bowie.
There we go. Jim, sorry guys, I got it reversed. I should have said yes. It's all right.
Yeah.
Thanks for the correction. Great. Well,
glad we
got it sorted. David Bro says, Lee, have you tried the Boss Katana on the Brown channel?
Possibly in the very distant past, I would have done. Yeah.
Hollywood, Lee, I'm just catching up on this live. I saw a recent video with Steve Vai in his live rig, and they have a Mac next to the amp for the Axe effects. Yeah. Shows they need a laptop and hand all the time. Yeah. It is true. It's true.
I said to Paul the other day, there's a lot of pro players who are using Fractal, and I can fully understand it from a sound point of view. They sound excellent and they feel excellent to play as well. But of course, a lot of pro players will not only have 2 units to rely on, so that if something goes wrong with number 1, they can just immediately flick over to number 2. Mm-hmm. They've also got a tech who's there on standby, who knows that unit inside out, who can just fix problems straight away.
I would say, though, I would guarantee that there are more Axe effects, either FM3s, 9s, or racks that go, oh, for God's sake, that go out without people teching.
Mine does the same thing. I don't know how to work it.
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
I would say they go out without techs than with.
Yeah.
I would say there's a lot more.
Almost certainly, because it needs less of a tech to run it than like a full standard guitar rig.
Except for when it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could say that about most things. Everything's great until it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Get Hollywood actress last.
This will never go wrong. It never will.
Yes, it will.
Unless that little screw pops out of the little pedal.
Famous last words, Lee. Famous last words.
It's just not going to happen. You're all only jealous.
I love your confidence. But for what it's worth, at the price of those, you can afford to take 2.
Straight.
Yeah.
Hollywood, also going back to Simply Gear, like the IR2 is great. Excuse me. I don't think the audience will care if it's an Axe
Yeah.
Effects or boss unit. If your band sounds
Agreed.
great, it's all that matters.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
punters don't care.
I hate this comment though. I hate it.
No,
Yeah,
we all
but-
hate it, but it's true.
Well, here's the
Yeah,
deal.
but I
Though.
don't care what the audience is. I mean, as long as it sounds good.
Here's the deal though. Yes, the audience can't tell the difference. If you showed, they don't know the difference in sounds, and I'm including the guitar players in the audience. They don't hear the difference whether you are going direct, small amp, big pedal board, effects modeler. They don't give a flip. I don't play the gear I play for the audience. The gear I play is for me.
Absolutely.
So flip on the flip side. So at least you get to play your own instrument. You turn up with a guitar,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, poor drummers.
Well,
Yeah.
this is I'm auditioning for a band,
Mhm.
and they say they do local gigs, but it's theatre shows tributing a well-known British pop act. But it's electric kit provided.
Nice.
No.
No, not
No.
nice.
Beautiful.
No, absolutely not nice. Because
No, it will be nice because then you'll be able to turn you down.
I've heard, but the thing is, I've heard what the previous drummer, how he set it all up, and it was like, just no.
Did you have a
Just
cowbell
no.
on the snare?
It was like he had 3 splash cymbals. It's like, pss, psh, pss. It's like,
Do you
do it
want to lose the gig instantly?
instantly. I've just,
Well, just say this at the audition.
yeah, I will, yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't just do it. Just get there, play it, and then change things. Luke Maple says Tone King. What are we referring to here?
I think
No
he's
idea.
guessing what's coming out Tuesday.
Well, I cannot confirm nor deny. That's all I can say. Are you guys talking about the Tone King?
Oh, here we go.
Moving on.
It must be. Sad to hear about Gak.
yeah. Blah, 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 blah.
What?
Brutal.
Job centre.
Such old news.
Brutal.
You went on this whole heartfelt thing. 5
Yeah.
minutes later, somebody comes. You're like, whatever. I keep moving.
Yeah, because
They deserved it. They
we're
deserved
90
it.
minutes in. That was then.
You're like,
That's
that
true.
shit
That is
again.
true.
Who cares?
We've already lived this pain.
Luke says, wonder if the Synergy module will be out as well. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Friedman Jose, no. That would be
No.
cool, though, wouldn't it? That
Yeah,
would be
Great.
That would be cool. Adventures in Gearland, still behind if he can manage the fly logistics.
Yeah. The Rev 20 waters. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. D20 isn't enough gain for Lee.
Nope.
The G20 would be. The tick is good for Pete Thorne.
I'm going to have some serious thought now about the synergies and the revs. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Good shout.
Nelson P was trying to say Lee should be using an IRX instead of an FM3. Sounds like it'd be right up his street. Lee's had an IRX.
Yeah.
I've had-
And it,
I've had two
it lasted
IRXs.
even less time than the FM3.
I've had 2 IRXs. They both got sold on.
You should just take out when James is finished with it. Borrow the hook for a week or so.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Alex says, evening to you, studio acts and to you, mate. My first time catching live stream months. Hope you're all well. Oh, Lee too. Cheers, Alec. You too, mate. Jeff, good morning. I thought your daylight saving started this weekend coming up. It appears I'm 59 minutes late rather than 1 minute early. Sorry, Jeff.
Sorry, mate.
Yes.
Well, that's the wonder of the internet. You will catch up eventually.
Yes.
This James got no sympathy anymore, but sad news.
No, that's not.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
That was ages ago.
That was so last minute.
Yeah, that was so 8:45.
I've moved on in life.
Luke says, just got to say, Guitar give me amazing service lately.
Indeed.
I've never had anything but good service from Guitar. Amazing shop.
Yeah.
Fantastic shop.
Yeah.
Lee, didn't you get banned from Guitar from from buying stuff and then taking it back, or was that Anderton's?
That was Anderton's, but they've since taken me back.
Have they?
Yeah, they
No, it was because he played "Sweet Child of Mine" and "Smells Like Teen Spirit" on a Saturday morning. That was it.
Yeah. I got a letter of apology from Lee Anderton.
Did you?
No, I didn't. No.
The Anthony Mancini
Guitar Center.
Guitar Center started bringing the better guitars down. Started bringing the better guitars down lower when they realized they built crap buildings, and blowing heat air directly on the expensive guitars all day wasn't the best idea. That's interesting.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think it depends which guitar center you go to as well. The one we went to in Hollywood, which I know is a top tier store, had some really cool stuff and some really cool secondhand stuff, and everyone was really nice. And I felt
Again, haven't you? You've done it again. Stop doing that.
I felt like we were treated like human beings. Whereas the one in Anaheim is at best a third-rate store.
That's a terrible shop.
It's not a great one.
It's not, is it?
Some of them are trying, and it comes down to the managers themselves. If they're pushing to make it better, if they care enough to make it better, they can be better. The ones where the people I know that are running it, they're good stores.
Yeah, it just comes down to leadership is all it is.
Always.
There's nothing more jaded than a guy that's been working in a guitar shop for 25 years.
Yeah. I'm only working on this till we get our big break. That's the only reason I'm working here.
Yeah.
So,
You know, I'm not going to mention the name of the shop, but my wife and I went to a guitar shop one time, and there was a bunch of fenders on the wall, some custom shops and stuff. And I said, the guy's like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Yeah, can I check out that custom shop right there? I want to see if it has a brass block in it." And he went, "A brass block?" I'm like, "Yeah, a brass block instead of a steel block." And he's just like, "I guess they all have that, no?" And I'm like, and my wife looks at me like, and I looked at it. It had a steel block, and we walked away. My wife's like, "He didn't know what kind of block was in that guitar." And it's pretty sad that my wife knew what it was, but the guy working there didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
Scrunch says, I think PMT will go soon. Stock levels are dwindling every week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
The
good.
sad thing about PMT was PMT started to go downhill as soon as they lost the two people who were PMT's worst nightmare, who were the original owners, Simon and Terry. The one thing they did do was they got great prices because they didn't take shit from anyone.
Mm.
David, and when all our sales ask for the Jivey discount.
It's not the Jivey discount. You have to ask for the James price.
Oh my God, I would
It's
leave.
worked time and time and time again. My wife disowns me when we go shopping now.
Cosmo Music in Canada is closing.
We talked about that.
Okay. I'm not going to put the next one up because it says
We can mention it. We can. It's fine. It's fine. Just stick on it. Go on. Matt says, Paul, do not read out loud. Not
on the screen.
Wait, I'll read it out loud.
Hey, listen, I'm not Ron Jeremy. What's the that's a bad one, isn't it? What's the anchor show, Anchorman?
Oh yeah, I see why you did that. Anchorman, which is Will Ferrell.
Yes.
Yeah. What's the
He
character?
plays.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Anyway, yeah, where he reads anything that comes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Paul, do not read out loud. Not looking to jam you up on your NDA. Lol. Synergy Tone King module was shown at NAMM and demoed by Danish Pete in one of Anderton's videos. Sounds awesome. There we go.
We've already said that already, so we're all right.
Yeah.
We're right to say it. Nelson P. Coda Music is the best shop in the country, no question.
Cool,
Coda Music shop.
Interestingly, so the person I was talking to about stuff I can't talk about, we were talking about who's going to buy up all the stock. And when Studio Spares went under back in was it last summer?
I don't know.
Gear for Music in York moved in and bought all the stock. I wonder whether they'll do the same this time. Because they're a huge concern now. I hate the fact that they are.
Yeah, they're sort of like the English equivalent of Toman, aren't they? Or they're heading that way.
As they would like. I think they'd like to be.
Yeah.
Boom.
Jeff Lee, did your local PMT close because you stopped shopping there? Probably because he
because he kept taking everything back.
I kept taking too much stuff back. Yeah.
Thomas
Long and McQuaid.
Yeah, Lon McQuaid.
I've got a terrible story about PMT actually.
I was threatened to a skip fight in PMT.
Skip. What the hell is a skip
Yeah,
fight?
what's a
I
skip?
don't know, and I never wanted to find out. So I said, look, do you want me here to train your staff or not? And then they let some list of expletives that I wouldn't repeat on air go, and I went, fine, I'm getting paid anyway. I'm going for lunch. Bye.
Was that down at Pompey?
No, that was in Southend at the headquarters.
No, I very quickly, I bought a Telecaster from PMT in Pompey years ago. And it was only when I came away from the shop that I saw that one of the frets was starting to sprout. It was starting to sprout upwards. And I thought, oh, blimey. And I happened to be in the neighbourhood of my mate Steve, who runs a Luthier business not far away. So it was literally, I have to drive past Steve's shop to get home. So I called in at Steve's shop and I said, what do you think is wrong with this? And he said, oh, crikey. Yeah, he said, that shouldn't have left the factory. That shouldn't have left quality control. Certainly shouldn't have left the shop like that. He said, whatever you do, don't hit it with a hammer, because you'll completely knacker the whole kind of the way. He said that fret needs to be prized out. Everything needs to be ground out of it. Then it needs to be reset back in. It needs to be a proper fix job on that. He said, if I was you, I'd take it back. So I got back in the car, took it back to PMT, explained it to the guy, and the first thing he tried to do was get a hammer out on it.
Amazing. Amazing.
Anyway,
Graham, the best shops have a sense of community around them, where you bump into other musicians, you can hang around a bit. Yeah.
That's the 1990s you're talking about there. It doesn't really happen anymore.
They did
It
it.
should, though. It should.
My drum shop was like that, but even they've gone under now. So
Yeah, well, Fret Music used to be like that in Southampton. James, you probably knew Fret Music, didn't you?
yeah.
That was like that.
And what was the one in Portsmouth in Southsea?
There was a drum shop called the Drum Pad.
Yeah, Roy's Drum Pad, and then 2 down from that was something and something.
No, I can't remember. Don't know.
Courtney and Walker.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, Courtney and Walker. Again, long gone.
Yeah.
Bill Dean says, really impressed with Peach. I was gigging close by, so called in with no appointment and could have tried anything in the store. Great. We were very welcome.
What's the deal with the appointment? Is it like in a high crime area or something? They got the doors locked and they buzz you in, or what is it?
They do have the doors locked. They do buzz you in, but no, it's not particularly high crime area. It's Colchester. We're not talking East End gangland.
Yeah.
But they had one nicked, didn't they? They had a PRS nicked, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah, there was lots of CCTV footage circulating of it at the time. The guy went in with
but that was in their old store. Their old store was a warehouse with a roller shutter at the front.
Yeah.
Some stores try to create a sense of premium by making them exclusive, by making them appointment only. Righteous Guitars in Alpharetta, Georgia did the exact same thing. After COVID, they never went back to just opening the doors. It's appointment only. It's really, really frustrating. Maybe that's changed in the last few months since I've heard anything about it, but some stores just decided that was the route they wanted to go to. It's the way they engineer some of that sense of exclusivity.
Yeah, Rolex does that.
Yeah, exactly.
You go in a Rolex store and 99% of all the watches in there are not for sale because they don't have any.
Yeah, exactly.
And they'll say, "Oh, we have 3 watches available for sale today. Would you like to look at these 3 watches that you won't buy?" And you're like, "No."
So they choose their customers. The customers don't choose their products.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't have time for that. I'm not here for it.
Luke, the Killy Kelly does amazing plexitones. Awesome. He also says, I think the Killer Kelly does a better plexi than the plexi, particularly the way it cleans up, which the plexi module could hardly do. Interesting.
Interesting.
Ashton Gate Stadium is a big show.
Was that Bristol?
Don't know. Maybe it is.
Bristol Guitar Show, is it?
Oh, okay.
Hang on. It is. It is right. Yes, that's exactly what it is. 10 till 4 on Sunday. If you fancy it, boys and girls.
I'm in Guernsey.
I've got to pay.
Probably.
It's £2.50 to get in. You get a free cup of tea. Oh no, that's the Bearswood East Titchford one in the village hall.
It's 10 quid. Under 12s accompanied free. Go free. So
you mentioned James's name, you get in for free too.
Yeah, what's the James price?
James Price. Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. Wallingford, population 8,700 people, has a guitar show. Every,
Yeah.
every
I think
little
it's
village in
87.
the UK has a guitar show. I believe this now.
Yeah,
Wallingford population is 87. Actually, it's not 87.
Yeah.
Wallingford's quite a small place. Yeah. Anton, 80s guitar tones. I love the gold lace sensors on my Strat.
Me too. Yep, I love them on my Strat too.
It was a Steven Seagal movie, James.
It was. It was Under Siege. Thank you very much. Well done.
Oh,
No, okay.
what a horrible human being.
Organic tone screws.
I've been called worse. I've been called worse.
No, Steven Seagal.
He is a bit odd, isn't he? He's a bit odd.
He came in the club that I used to manage, and he lost his mind that we didn't have sparkling water. I'm like, dude, you're in a blues bar. Like, I have
The fact that we have water.
Yeah,
should
we have
impress
water.
you.
We have water because we're required to by the health department.
You don't have any. You don't have any Grey Poupon mustard for your pretzel.
No. Do you want Dasani? I can go down to the gas station at the corner and grab that for you. Like, God, I guarantee the Dasani's worse than the tap water, though.
Mhm.
Anyway, sorry. I have like this issue.
Thing about him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff says Hollywood actress Stag would benefit from some organic tone screws to expand some.
That's awesome.
But only if they are only if they're made with free range copper by
OFC copper.
OFC. Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
And they're vintage.
Yeah.
Vintage.
Yeah, they'll have to be dipped to be aged.
Where can I get them?
Question.
Oh.
No, it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't be. The Katana is not a joke amp.
No, it's not.
It's very good.
I remember I was reminded of the first one of these. It was before we went live with Dan, you and me, Paul, and
Right.
you said next week I'm going to bring on an amp that you won't believe I've bought, and it was a Boss Katana. That was one of the first shows we did, and it was like, you've bought a solid state amp, and little did we know that it would become the giant killer that it is.
But I was already doing Katana videos.
No, you weren't. Not by that point. This is one of the very, 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 very earliest of these we did of the podcast we did with Dan.
No, I was doing Katana videos from the start.
Definitely not, because bear in mind the Studio Rats didn't start as a channel. It started as just the three of us making music, way before we started the channel proper.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds like a thing you can roll back the tape and see.
Paul, that Seymour Duncan hyper switch has arrived. We'll let you know how it is. Might be a gimmick that we shall see. You're not going to put that in the Sir, are you? Interesting.
That switch. Anything that says the words 5-way switch with Bluetooth to put in my guitar, I'm like, absolutely not.
Bluetooth on your guitar. I know it happens, but oh my god.
It sounds like it could be a disaster, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Buggy Bass, James, if the electric kit has MIDI out, you could plug in your laptop, run some decent drum plugin like Superior Drum or something.
I've already got that patch is already created for all Roland kits. So yes.
Oh, excuse me. How about the TMP for Lee? What's a TMP? Anyone know?
TMP.
No.
Tone Master pedal.
Tone Master Pro.
Yeah,
Tone Master
Pro. Oh,
Good shout. Good shout.
I bet you'd get one of those now for about 900 quid, mate.
Oh, and less
I've
than that.
noticed. I saw a Cores gig the other day, and Jim Core is using one. How about that?
Is he?
He is.
Eric Johnson was using one.
But this was the guy who was asked on Breakfast TV how he met the other people in the cause.
They were just hanging around at home, weren't they?
Excellent.
Yeah, they were talking on corners.
Yeah. Hey.
I'll say this. A buddy of mine went to see Eric Johnson in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Nice.
And for the first half of the show, Eric Johnson was playing through a Tone Master Pro.
No.
Oh,
But for the second half of the show, he went back to his amp.
You've just made me want to buy one.
No. Here's what I think, and this is I have no affiliation with Fender, so I can say it. Why would Eric Johnson take 2 rigs and split his time on that show between the two.
Because he was being paid to by Fender.
Amen. That's exactly why. He was paid to be seen playing the Tone Master Pro, and then he went back to what he actually likes playing.
Interesting.
But if the audience, and let's face it, the audience at an Eric Johnson gig is 99% of the audience that's watching this show, plus us going.
That's it.
Yeah. Going.
If they didn't notice, that
What
says
is he
something about
using?
you.
I saw Eric Johnson at the House of Blues probably 20-something years ago.
Yeah.
And I watched his pedal board.
Tone Master Pro back then.
His pedal board go awry. You know how it's all just stuffed like duct tape down and whatever. And there was something going wrong with one of the pedals and the cords, and he looked pissed. I thought he was going to take it and throw it.
Oh no.
Yeah, but he's got all that stuff. It's all like
Yeah.
Ron Burgundy, exactly. Thank you.
Yes.
It's not Ron Jeremy. That's a different.
That's a whole different show.
That's Thursday's show.
Hey Shahab, I've got a nasty Ron Jeremy story.
Do you really? We don't want to hear that.
It's definitely Thursday's show.
Oh my word, it's horrible. It's horrible. Anyway, Shahab Bar says, "Hey guys, Synergy Tone Ging, lol."
Yeah.
I can't say a thing.
San Diego.
Such a great film. PNC, there we go.
It used to stand for Professional Music Technology. Apparently, it now stands for Play Music Today. Apparently,
Yeah.
It's catchy, huh?
Not really. No.
We did hear.
We did. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Thanks to you.
Yeah. We did. Yeah.
Dave Hardy says, as I'm from York, I can tell you that they have some dongy practices here for music.
Dodgy.
I hope they meant dodgy.
Yeah, but they are handy.
I've had some good experiences and some terrible experiences in that store.
Yeah.
But they do have a lot of stock. Most of it is their own brand. Is it White Horse? Is that their brand? Flying Horse? It's
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero is theirs, definitely. But their guitars are
I don't know.
White Horse, I think. And
That's a terrible name.
yes.
Dave, musicians now meet up in YouTube live feeds. You are the new guitar shops. It's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If this is the new guitar shops, Paul, can I try that Les Paul that you've got hanging up there?
You don't like Les Pauls?
Oh, like that. I shall go and take my business elsewhere.
Bye, then.
And we all don't have to wear pants.
That's true. That's true.
Oh God, please stop.
JP says we used to have Spectre Music, sadly long gone. They used to stay up until 9 p.m. on a Thursday. George, you remember late
Late night show.
Guitar Center still open to 9.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's great for people just to hang out and jam. Nice.
Yeah.
Guitar Center is not a great place for people to hang out and jam.
No. Can you imagine? Yeah. Punk Bass, 1990s Denmark Street was like this. Please, may I try that guitar? What, this guitar? Then the guy shreds at 100 miles per hour for 10 minutes before handing it to you. Here you go. Thanks.
That was very much like the experience we had in GAC, wasn't it, Paul?
Yeah, we had that experience in GAC as well.
Yeah.
Shocking. Peach took over Trevor Durrant's old shop, which went bust. Just after I moved from Colchester. It was around the back of my old house.
Which means that he lives somewhere near the Cowdray on Cowdray Avenue, because that next door to Trevor Durrant's was my old drum shop. It's a small world.
Blue Note. I think appointment-only guitar shops can be a good idea. I think we've all tried demoing a guitar on a Saturday in a shop and not being able to actually hear what you're playing because somebody. That's a fair point.
That's good. That's
it is
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Organic screws sound great, says Hollywood. Away from you.
Playing Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah.
Danzy left the UK when it was revealed.
Dasani, yeah.
Oh.
Bottled water.
It was bottled tap water, yeah.
It's
bottled in someone's
came out
bathtub.
of someone's tap in Kent somewhere.
Peckham Springs. Yeah.
Peckham.
Such a great episode.
Yeah.
Adam, hello mate. He said, come to the Czech Guitar Show in Prague at the end of June. I'll guarantee you free entry and the best beer in the world. That's true.
We're there.
Yeah, that sounds more fun, doesn't it? Jeff Brock, I'm looking forward to the Synergy Katana module.
I'm down for that right after we get the PV Bandit Katana synergy model. That's what I want.
Awesome. That would be awesome. It's funny. A mate of mine lent me a valve amp that he had made for him by his next door neighbor who was good with electronics.
And
There won't be a Tonex capture pack of it.
but it picks up BBC Two, lovely.
Oh, it's not far off that actually. It really isn't.
Chris, yes.
Just
And then
yes.
thumbs up. Keep going down.
Yes, yes.
Tim Pierce likes Thomas, but well, Tim Pierce. He's got some affiliation with Fender now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Have we? Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, they
Also,
build-
Tim Pierce could play a cardboard box. So
Yes, Tim Pierce could play a Squire through a Gorilla amp, and it
oh
would.
my gosh.
Shahar says, "Love this Penta host, Vinny and the dude have too much hair for this show."
I do not have too much hair. I do not have enough hair for this show.
It's balders and hair, isn't it, on this show?
Isn't that the rest? Generally, the population.
Yeah.
You either have hair or you have not hair.
Oh, there's a few people out there that are walking the line.
Yeah. Chris, how about a review of the Marshall Studio 900?
Oh, that was a fun amp to play at NAMM.
Yeah.
I loved how the Marshall booth had booths, actual booths where you could go in and play the amps.
Yeah.
I was more excited about the 800 Studio, but
Me
the
too.
900 was a good amp.
Oh, sorry, no, I was excited about the 800, the modded 800, as opposed to the modded Plexi.
Oh yeah.
I sold my Marshall Silver Jubilee today. And
Yeah.
the cab.
Today. I was more stunned about how Marshall couldn't give two hoots about the press launch, where they turned out and a bloke said, "Yeah, we've got some amps. Watch this. Come and see us on the booth. Bye." Surely you'd have brought an amp and just noodled, and everyone would have gone, "Ah, it's a Marshall! Yay!"
Well, so I set up an appointment to go over to the Marshall booth and talk to some folks to get some content with them, and like it was great. They're like setting up, yeah, let's do this. I was texting, got over there, and then like I got the PR people. I got no one that was actually free to talk about anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, y'all have literally the best booth at NAMM, and no one to talk about anything.
Love
But
it.
weren't they all on notice? Because it was
They literally sold halfway through the show.
yeah, well, that
Next
Chinese
day,
deal was
yeah.
just going through at the time, so they were probably employees who were just feeling so demotivated
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
The marketing people were probably from the American marketing department who had already been paid for the event months in advance anyway.
Funky says, I think I heard Gear for Music bought the rights to the Eden bass amplifiers.
I think that's true.
Oh, interesting.
Dave, yes, lads, I meant dodgy, but can't type. Graham, yes, I remember the drum shop moved back to Scotland in 2014.
Okay.
And Jeff says, I'll be able to capture my Era 30 when it arrives in about 3 months. Nice.
There we
Very
go.
nice.
Such a nice amp. Blue Note Guitar, my local guitar shop, Kempster's, opened in the 1950s and is still going now. It was taken over by Mr. Kempster's son in the 80s. He's now nearly 80 and still opens every day except Sundays. Oh, bless him.
Awesome.
And did you see Gibson won their court case against Dean? I didn't see that.
They did. They said that the Explorer and the V are Gibsons.
Wow.
Those shapes.
Wow.
Well, there's Heartwoods in the house, Gear for Music. Heartwoods. Okay.
Right.
That's the okay. Now I just want to show you something because
Okay.
I think this is what happens when people get the idea of well, actually, what we should do should we do the stupid comment of the week because it sort of leads.
Do it because I like the jingle.
Yeah. Go on then.
Stupid comment of the week.
I would like to say as well that there was no faking that, tuning it, which you could probably tell, or anything like that. I just did the 9 parts off the top of my head just because I could.
There you go.
Brilliant.
So,
My-
so the video was about 3 Harley Benton guitars and a guitar snob. What could go wrong? And the guy said Les Pauls can't stay in tune anyway. which I think is a pretty stupid comment because it's. Me and James talked about this before the show, and it's a little bit like someone's read Gear Nuts. Or what's it called? It's not
The gear page.
Yeah,
Gear
space. These
Yeah.
and
days.
a few people have put, "Oh, Gibsons don't stay in tune," and then that's become general fact.
Uh-huh.
It's yes that there have been cases where the nut has not been cut properly on a Gibson,
Right.
but all of my Les Pauls that I've ever had don't go out of tune.
I've got
Also,
Wait.
if the nut is cut for 10 gauge strings and you buy the guitar and you have to have 14 gauge cable wire running on it, and they're going to get jammed in the nut slots and there's not going to stay in tune. It's
Yeah.
just, that's just way it is.
But I've got 3 Les Paul shaped guitars one actually by Gibson, one by Harley Benton, and one by Chibson. And all 3 are phenomenal guitars.
Yeah.
So just so Russell Charlton,
Yeah.
whatever his name is, 7814. I found this the other week on Facebook, which I think is it can solve those tuning issues.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what's coming.
Oh dear heavens!
So,
And just so you know, it wasn't me who did it to this one, okay?
same guitar,
Oh
isn't
my
it?
gosh!
It's the same guitar.
No, so this is
That's gotta
a
be
guy.
Photoshop, right?
This is a guy that's put on the Harley Benton modding page on Facebook. He says, "Hi, I've made these sketches a while ago. My take on how to get rid of the tuning stability problem. Well, at least a step towards it. I'd like opinions about this, please." I mean,
think it would.
I've definitely got an opinion about that.
Yeah.
I think
Put
it would
it
stay in
head
tune.
first into the dumpster
No, I think it would stay in tune, and
With
I
a-
think
with a
I think
paper bag
guys-
over it.
the guys at James Tyler Guitar better not see that headstock because they'll be a
It will be in production tomorrow.
yeah.
So my response to people who always say that, yeah, it's a shame that Gibson guitars have the tuning problems that have kept them from ever being on any recording or ever being used live in the history of music.
Yeah,
It's such a shame.
it is. So there we are.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's ever happened though.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, I can't believe the guy actually took time to do this.
Bro, I see it all the time.
It's absolutely.
I
Yeah.
love getting those kinds of comments. Sometimes I bait them. Like today, I have over on Threads. I posted. I'll read it verbatim, and like I keep looking at my phone because I keep getting people who are just mad because I said Eric Clapton's music really took a nosedive once he swapped to Fender guitars, and and people are losing their minds. So people will comment with the most inane things. I feed on it. I love drawing those stupid comments out. I love, like, please show me how dumb you are. Like, because so I love that y'all do this feature, but I feel like y'all are gonna have to start doing like a top 5 of the week because 1 is not enough. Because I know y'all get plenty.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we have
Yes.
to whittle them down. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Some are just like, you can't believe what some people put. Just-
Yeah.
I mean, people even say they ask for discount in stores.
Can you believe it?
Ladies and gentlemen of the interwebs,
Yes.
it's been an absolute blast this evening. I would like to thank Lee, Phil, and Vinny. I can't say it normally. I'm sorry, Vinny.
That's okay.
For joining us this evening. It's always a pleasure, never a chore, and we should always do this because it's fun. And there's some things you do because they're fun, some things you do for money, and some things you do because they're silly. And this is none of those. So thank you, boys, for joining us. We'll be back next week with more of the same stupidity, quite frankly. And who knows what bombs may have been dropped in the pro audio stroke MI stroke guitar world between now and then. But I'm sure some brown stuff will hit a fan and we'll get to make light and take the piss out of it. So thanks ever so much for joining us, everyone. So it's good night from me.
Good night for me.
And
Night.
Au
and
revoir.
and
Cheerio.
Take care, everyone. See you soon. Good night.
Good night. Good night.